like to welcome everyone as they continue to trickle into our meeting tonight. This is our wellness team update, where we have an opportunity to hear from members of our wellness team. And just like to welcome everyone to tonight's presentation. Of course, this presentation is recorded, and we hope that you're able to share that as well with your friends, contacts, with team members if you're already a part of VIDAFY. We are very excited tonight to be able to hear from one of our wellness team members, from Dr. Cesar Fernandez. I've had the opportunity to work with him now for the past 12 years, and now he's part of our wellness team, and very excited to hear from him tonight. He's going to share a message about how we can apply the benefits of curcumin in the health of our liver, which it doesn't sound like an exciting topic, but it's an incredibly important topic. And I'm going to hand the microphone over to Cesar, and then at the end, please stick around. I've got a few announcements about upcoming events and activities as well at the end of tonight's call. So, Dr. Fernandez, are you around?
Yes, Shane. Good night. How's it going? Hello,
Going
Dave.
good. Going good. Thanks so much. Really appreciate you taking the time to be with us tonight.
Okay, I'm very happy to be here. I'm also honored and pleased for you to introduce me tonight. And I know that you are a person, being a CEO of a company, you have a lot of things to do, and you took a few minutes to be with us, and that's very representative for us. So I'm very happy to go inside of this very, very important topic, as you just said, because a lot of people just took it for granted when we are talking about the liver. But you're gonna get to know today about the importance of understanding how the liver works and how our products could support it and bring us to a very, very, very better life that we could be living in the near future. So let's get started right now. My name, as Shane says, is Dr. Cesar Fernandez. I live in Honduras. I've been around for 25 years in nutrition science. I was in Stanford University. I am also in stem cells research and banking, as Shane says, and also in public health. And I'm very, very, very excited with all of this, because in the 25 years before now, I haven't seen something so with such an impact on the wellness of the persons. When I took it to my patients, when I took it to my family, to my people surrounding me, they always came back to me and says, "What you gave to me? What are you talking about? This is something amazing. I've never felt something like this before." So that's what I'm going to try to talk to you and put you in this position of being so enthusiastic the way that I'm enthusiastic also. So let me share you some slides over here to get started. Let's go to the first slide. Well, as you know, this is a VIDAFY life converted event. We are now trying to discover the power of probiotics and nanocurcumin in the liver health. Okay, which is the one who's talking, Dr. Cesar Fernandez, which I am a member of wellness team global for VIDAFY, and I'm also need to read this, which is important, which is a disclaimer. The following information that I'm just about to share with you is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice. It is only for informational, educational purposes based on preventive medicine. If you think you have any condition listed in this presentation, we suggest you consult a licensed healthcare professional for the diagnosis and treatment of any medical condition. Okay? That being said, let's get started. Okay, we're going to start a little bit different from like we used to do. We're going to start with a testimonial. We're going to start, let's call this patient Carlos. Carlos came over with obesity. He loves cookies and candies. He drinks coffee with sugar and cream daily. He has a lack of exercise, energy drinks daily. He also loves fast food, slow death food, and he is also a stressed professional. How many of you can identify with this guy? I know a lot of them, but the thing is that he came over to us, and what was he eating about at that time? All the things that he didn't need to: alcohol, sugary foods, fried foods, salty foods, red meat, refined grains. This was his mainly diet, his mainly nutritional habits. And what happens is that when he came over, he says, okay, I feel like chronic fatigue, general malaise, migraines, discomfort of upper right part of the abdominal area. I also sometimes I feel itchy skin, abdominal bloating, lack of sleep, and a lot of things. Can you relate to this? The thing is that a lot of people in the modern life is feeling just like that, just like that. And what I found is that the main diagnosis of this guy was non-alcoholic fatty liver disease with hypertriglyceridemia, hypercholesterolemia, obesity, insulin resistant, hypertension, which if we took it all together, it's a metabolic syndrome. That's how we call it. So going forward, we started suggesting Carlos healthy diet, more vegetables, fewer carbs, no alcohol, avoid fast food, avoid salt, more fish, less red meat, lower body fat percentage, and also the CMI, which is the corporal mass index. Watch out for the high fructose in your food, which is the corn syrup, basically, which is added in a lot of foods. Physical exercise, at least for 3 to 4 times, 30 minutes a day, lab tests, blood pressure monitoring, and also I added as a support NanoFi 10 drops daily, AM and PM, and Symbiofi 1 sachet for the first 30 days. Okay, this was just to get started, and we're going to talk about Carlos a little bit later. So there's a new killer hiding in the liver. Alcohol abuse and viral hepatitis are well-known causes of liver disease, but there's currently a liver condition that outweighs them right now: non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Okay, so it's the initials are NAFLD. So for you to know, few people know that non-alcoholic fatty liver disease and its most severe form, NASH, non-alcoholic steatohepatitis, are responsible for a large portion of chronic liver disease cases. The rates of both NAFLD and NASH have grown exponentially and are expected to increase 21% and 63% respectively by 2030. NAFLD does not show obvious symptoms until potentially irreversible liver damage has occurred. Imagine that. And there are currently no medications available to treat it. So what can we do then? Let's start by getting to know what is going on. NAFLD affects approximately 25% of the entire US population, accounts for more than 75% of all the chronic liver diseases, and is a major contributor to the incidence of advanced liver disease. So it is a huge problem. It is a big problem. So, but we still have time to turn things around with the fatty liver disease. We could do things. We could take an optional healthy lifestyle. We could start taking supplements. We could make some exercise. We could change our future if we understand what's going on with this problem. The threat of non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, the most common source of chronic liver damage and liver failure, used to be alcohol abuse and infection of the liver by viruses such as hepatitis B and C. However, in recent years, liver disease not associated with alcohol or infection has increased dramatically. In this condition, known as NAFLD, high levels of fatty tissue build up in the liver and it slowly destroys it. Imagine that. And you are not aware of this. Yeah, only if you eventually go to a medical doctor and he perform an ultrasound or something like that. So what's the not so happy ending? In the long term, the NAFLD can cause fibrosis, scarring of the liver, significantly affecting normal liver function, and advanced scarring, known as liver cirrhosis, is irreversible and can lead to liver failure, which is eventually fatal. You only have the chance to have a liver transplant, which is very difficult. And the only treatment, as it's pointed over there, is the liver transplant. So let's understand this. The NAFLD spectrum. At the beginning, we all have a healthy liver. The risk factors, which I've been telling you: obesity, diabetes, arterial hypertension, dyslipidemia, insulin resistance, genetic factors, and even if you're a healthy subject, 15 to 30% of the healthy liver persons will go forward to NAFLD, which is presence of hepatic steatosis, with no evidence of hepatocellular injury yet. But after that, we could take the 12 to 40% of these people with NAFLD, and they progress to NASH. So what happens now? The presence of hepatic steatosis plus inflammation and scarring, or fibrosis, which is the same thing. So we are now in the borderline of the reversible against the irreversible stage. What happens if the non-alcoholic steatosis goes forward to cirrhosis? 15 to 25% of people with NASH will go to cirrhosis, and 50% of people with cirrhosis will need a liver transplant or will die. And also 7% of this cirrhosis go to hepatocellular carcinoma, liver cancer. So by 2020, NASH is projected, now we are in 2024, so we're going forward on this, but by 2020, NASH we're projected to overtake hepatitis C as the leading cause of liver transplants in the US, which has been done by now. So what happens? What causes it? I've been telling you obesity, but basically visceral fat, insulin resistance, elevated triglycerides, high fructose corn syrup. Again, put that in your mind. Remember this name. Sugary drinks, refined carbohydrates, processed food, endocrine disruptors, which are natural or human-made chemicals that may mimic, block, or interfere in the body's hormones. So, liver toxicity, high fructose of corn syrup, unlike glucose, which can be used by almost every cell in the body, fructose can only be metabolized by the liver. And fructose is transported to your liver and ends up damaging your liver in the same way the alcohol and other toxins do. That's a very important thing to remember. So we've been talking about before about the gut-brain axis, right? Yeah, your brain is directly linked to your intestines. But I don't know if you're aware of this, but there's a gut health axis, because the gut is pointed also and perfectly linked with the brain, with the heart, with the skin, with oral health, with liver health, with immune health, and with the hormone balance. We are tonight talking about specifically the gut-liver axis, but you need to understand all the things that are implicated with your microbiome in your intestines. Researchers have discovered a close relationship between liver health and gut health. They found that unhealthy gut bacteria contribute to NAFLD, and beneficial bacteria protect against it when combined with healthy lifestyle. And as you need to know, the first control filter in your body is your liver. Most of the blood that circulates through the intestine goes directly to the liver through a large vessel called the portal vein. This vein then divides into capillaries and, penetrates your whole liver. Most blood-borne substances from the digestive system pass through the liver before circulating to other organs and tissues. That's why it's the first control filter. Giving the liver the first chance to process nutrients, also filter and neutralize toxins. But this gut-liver axis has a drawback. It makes the liver particularly susceptible to harmful compounds and microorganisms that come from the gut. So while the liver neutralizes most of these harmful substances, it can be damaged in the process. So one of the main things we need to focus is unhealthy bacteria. Therefore, the composition of the gut microbiota has a dramatic impact on the liver. While beneficial bacteria are protective, the wrong microbes can cause great damage to the liver. Researchers believe this is one of the main contributions factors to NAFLD. So what about bacteria to the rescue? Recent clinical trials have shown that a specialized combination of probiotics along with healthy lifestyle can reduce the severity of NAFLD and even stop the damage that it causes to the liver. In one study, supplementing with probiotics plus following healthy lifestyles, advice led to a remarkable 54% reduction in levels of C-reactive protein, which is a measure of inflammation in our bloodstream. So let's talk a little bit about microbial imbalance, which is called dysbiosis. An unhealthy imbalance in the composition of gut microorganisms is increasingly common in populations following a modern Western diet. We, in this side of the world, with this kind of diet, are, targeted by this unhealthy lifestyle performance that we are doing. This imbalance has been linked to numerous chronic diseases. Improving gut health through diet and the use of probiotics can help us reduce the risk of some of these diseases. The symbiotics are called like this because we have probiotic organisms that can only work if they survive and thrive in the intestines, outperforming harmful bacteria. So combining probiotics with prebiotics, compounds that help maintain the health and function of bacteria, gives probiotic organisms an extra boost. The blend of probiotics and prebiotics is often referred to as symbiotics due to their synergistic activity in improving gut health. So let's talk about a result in a clinical study. The participants were volunteers who are overweight, obese, diagnosed with NAFLD. Patients were randomly assigned to receive either symbiotic mixture or a placebo for 28 weeks. Okay. Both groups received recommendations of physical activity and balanced diet. Evaluation of different liver markers like liver enzymes, like C-reactive protein that I told you, drove us to results, which are those who received the probiotic had a major decrease in liver enzyme levels of such magnitude that they return to a normal range. the fibrosis score decreased on average to the normal range in the symbiotic group. The probiotic prebiotic group experienced, like I just said, 54% reduction in C-reactive protein levels at the end of this study. And also in another study, a mix of these symbiotics plus healthy lifestyle tips in people with non-alcoholic fatty liver disease who were not overweight, they were not obese. Okay, this could appear even in skinny people. Results, those who took the mixture of symbiotics saw a greater decrease in liver enzymes. The fibrosis score was also significantly reduced in the symbiotic group, reaching a normal range on average, and C-reactive protein was reduced by 46%. Conclusion: the results of these trials indicate that symbiotics significantly reduce the signs of severity of NAFLD regardless of body weight. Okay, that being said, we are now in an unhealthy modern lifestyle. Don't lie to me. I'm part of it also. It's a daily fight we have with all of this, like sedentarism, like having fast food, like having these snacks, like having sodas, all these refined sugars. It's an unhealthy modern lifestyle. But we've been, a lot of missiles from and rockets from the TV daily that they look like make us go in that way. But we need to be focused in not to have a high caloric value food, a low nutritional value food, unhealthy food, lots of chemicals and endocrine disruptors and GMOs. Almost 90% of the food we buy in the supermarkets, if you're rich, they are not non-GMO. GMOs means genetically modified organisms. So a lot of things are manipulated, and that's another thing that adds in the problem of NAFLD. And another thing is the environmental pollution. This is huge right now. In my country right now, our city was declared the #1 in pollution in the world, #3 in the world last week. Can you believe that? You could even not see the buildings and the mountains. You couldn't see them, just like that photograph in the upper right section over there. So aftermath of gut dysbiosis is that dysbiosis can affect you not just in liver disease, obesity, diabetes, allergies, atherosclerosis, aging, Alzheimer's, multiple sclerosis, hypertension, metabolic syndrome, cancer, autoimmune diseases, almost everything. That's why I told you before, it's a gut health, putting together gut health, not just gut brain axis. It's a gut health axis. It's vinculated to everything that we could outperform. So SymbiFy, which is our product, is a symbiotic formulation. It's state of the art. It has amazing fiber, which is a prebiotic fiber, by the way, probiotics, detox herbal complex, and magnesium. It's amazing product, and the SymbiFy is a symbiotic product, and it contains, as I told you, prebiotic fiber and probiotic bacteria for the support of the gut microbiota. So if you could see it very fast here, we have 9 prebiotic fibers. We have 9 compounds of a herbal formula to support cleaning and detox processes of liver and kidney, and to work in the microbiome of our intestines. And also our probiotics are the 2 more important CFUs, which are colony formation units, Lactobacillus acidophilus and Bifidobacterium longum, 4 billions and 1 billion respectively for each one, total 5 billions of CFUs. And what this produces is intestinal health, immune barrier, improves lactose digestion, reductions of intestinal symptoms, reduced duration and severity of diarrhea caused by antibiotics, fiber digestion and production of postbiotics, which is the main compounds that are needed to get well in all the areas and all the organs and all the tissues that we are talking about. Let me go to the next one. And the other one, the Bifidobacterium longum, also has a lot of benefits, just as Lactobacillus. Improvement of intestinal microenvironment, anti-allergy, anti-infection, immune modulation, alleviation of gastrointestinal disorders, and all the things you could read over there. So what happens is, if you put this inside and you add also magnesium, some people might didn't know what magnesium are allowed to do or needed to do in your organisms. Tiredness, insomnia, muscle cramps, migraines, depression, heart problems, constipation, osteoporosis, all of these things are supported by magnesium. So believe me, this is really important. Symbiofy, what it can do for you then: intestinal health and detox. That's the main things it does: immune, metabolic, cardiovascular, brain, skin, and emotional health. So it's the perfect supplement to get involved in the health, in the health axis. So it took care of, as you could see, in all the areas of your organism. So what you should be eating, and you should be avoiding: you should be eating nuts, seeds, chicken, eggs, green vegetables, green tea, cruciferous vegetables. And you should be avoiding specifically alcohol, sugar, salt, refined carbs, and junk food. It's not that difficult, but you need to make a decision. Take the contents of one sachet a day in the morning or afternoon. It's okay. Drink water during the day, because there's a lot of fiber inside. That is the recommended use of Symbiofy. Now let's end up with curcumin. What about curcumin? Okay, what about curcumin? It doesn't matter how much curcumin you consume. What matters is the curcumin that reaches your cells and your tissues. Focus on that when you talk to people. What happens with this? We overcome the barrier of absorption. The nanophyte curcumin that we have with the BioMS nanotechnology, nanomicellar technology, we brought from up to 277 times more absorption. Could you believe that? That's an amazing performance. Amazing. There's nothing like this around that put us in a position that we are unique and a high efficacy product. In the Journal of Nutrients in 2021, they said how the molecule, which is right in the center, as you could see over there, of curcumin, has implications in NAFLD, which we were just about talking right now, metabolic syndrome, the patient I showed you at the beginning, atherosclerosis, and also polycystic ovary syndrome, by regulating the resistance of insulin. So this is getting published in the science, in the scientific, journals, and National Institute of Health of the US, and in Europe, and everywhere. For example, in the PubMed, National Library of Medicine of the United States, curcumin ameliorates liver damage and progression of NASH. Remember? Progression of NASH from where to where? Progression of NASH, non-alcoholic steatohepatitis, to HCC, which is hepatocellular carcinoma, which is liver cancer. Could you believe this? Let me explain what the conclusion is. Curcumin effectively reduced progression of NASH, non-alcoholic steatohepatitis, to HCC, hepatocellular carcinoma, by suppressing proteins and vascular endothelial growth and prothrombins, which is a little bit technical, but you need to know that our data suggests that curcumin reduces the progression from NASH to a liver damage. That's the main message you need to understand. And also in this other important journal, Complementary Therapies in Medicine, they came to the conclusion that curcumin has been shown to benefit non-alcoholic liver disease and increase resolution of hepatic steatosis compared to placebo groups. Curcumin was also found to lower triglycerides if taken for more than 8 weeks. There are no major side effects, and the results showed no difference in adverse effects. So, are you excited about this? Look at this. National Library of Medicine of the US. Nanocurcumin, our technology, improves glucose indices, lipids, inflammation, and nesphtin in overweight. I'm going to talk about a little bit of nesphtin by the end, in overweight and obese patients with NAFLD in a double-blind, randomized, placebo-controlled clinical trial. This means we have all the science supporting us. This means that curcumin and liver support in the studies, for example, like this one, with a total of 84 overweight obese patients with NAFLD diagnosed by ultrasound, were recruited. Patients were randomly divided. Interventions consisted of taking 40 milligrams daily of nanocurcumin, and the other ones a placebo, after meals for 3 months. Lifestyle changes were advised. What's the conclusion? NC, nanocurcumin, supplementation in these patients with NAFLD, obese and overweight, improved glucose, lipid, inflammation, waist circumference, nesphtin, hepatic transaminase, which are hepatic enzymes, and fatty liver grade. Consequently, the proposed mechanism for enhancing NAFLD with nanocurcumin was approved by increased serum nesphtin and subsequent improvements in inflammation, lipids, and glycemic profile. So what's this nesphtin? Have you heard about it before? This nesphtin is the one, it's the one involved in the food intake, the carving, when you need to eat carbs. Okay, it's the one that regulates the food intake. It modulates the sex hormones. It has to do with anxiety, depression, insulin sensitivity, circadian rhythm. So maybe if you had insomnia, you have a problem with nesphtin. Neuroprotective, it's arterial pressure. It has to do with arterial pressure and heart rate. And it also has an impact in the intraocular pressure. And this is the answer why people came over to you and they says, I'm feeling better about my anxiety because I'm taking nanocurcumin. I feel like I'm sleeping well, my memory and concentration are better. This is the why. We have the science behind. This is not a story tale. This is real. This is scientific. This is what happens to Carlos, the patient at the beginning. Awareness, eat much better, exercises, lost a lot of body weight and body fat percentage. He controls his liver enzymes. He feels more energy. He has no bloating. He had a huge improvement in dyslipidemia and insulin resistance. And my suggestion was what? Continue your SymbioFi and NanoFi and continue your healthy lifestyle changes. Does it make any sense? Huh? How do you see Mr. Arnold Schwarzenegger here? Huh? What is he trying to say over there? Could you see it? Oops. Oh, sorry. I rather touch a button that I didn't have to. What happens here with Arnold, it says the idea is to get old as younger as we can. We're going to get old. Yes, I understand. We are going to get old. But we could have quality of life. We could be in great shape. We could feel amazingly better than we are feeling right now. It doesn't have to do with aging. Aging with style, I said. So at the end, I need to suggest you take your products daily to reap the benefits, keep on with the healthy lifestyles, and that's it. I'm sorry about that. I lost my last slide. So if you understand this few training conference, the thing is that we first need to understand the why, the process, and then we need to make all the changes that we need to make. At the end, there's a big decision, and it's only yours. Healthy lifestyle and supplementation. That's the two main decisions that you need to make. Believe me, in more than 25 years, I haven't seen something more scientifically supported than our products, and with this impact in the people, even in the people that is not that doesn't feel like it's going through a disease. No, they say, okay, I'm gonna try it, and then they begin to feel that feeling good is not divorced on feeling great or feeling better. So I'm very happy to be with you. So a lot of people here with us. Thank you for your assistance, and I hope I could just change a little bit of the way you think about all of this, and you could share all of this to the thousands and thousands of people that you could impact with our products and our suggestions. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Fernandez. Really appreciate your time and effort there in sharing with us about those important benefits for our products as we all search for better health, and we all search for benefits. In this case, in our liver. I found that so interesting because, I mean, many of us we have. Sometimes we're so worried about our heart, we're so worried about maybe our gut, maybe our joints, etc. There's different things where we feel pain. Sometimes we don't feel the pain necessarily in our liver. However, it's one of the most important organs in our body, and the better we take care of it, the better we'll live. So really appreciate that important additional benefit. And that's another thing, is that I don't think many of us realize the benefit that we can get from taking our curcumin-based products in our liver. I just want to wrap up just with a couple of quick announcements, just reminding people of upcoming things that we have. Well, just wanted to remind everyone, our next webinar will be on Tuesday, as always. It'll be May 28th, 7 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time. And remember, it's always VIDAFYvoice.com. So make sure you just share that URL with your friends, with contacts, so that they can connect and listen. Next time around, it's going to be Dr. Jeremy Thornton, and you can find more information about that next upcoming presentation at the VIDAFY entrepreneur community, or in your or with the person that invited you. Then for all of those that are already a part of VIDAFY, we invite you to be with us tomorrow on what we call the Midway Call. That's VIDAFYvoice.com as well. And that's going to be tomorrow at 11 a.m. Mountain Daylight Time. Make sure that you connect to be up to date on all the news. We'll be sharing exciting information about upcoming events, both in the US as well as Australia and New Zealand. We've got our grand openings, of course, coming up in July in those countries. More information as well about the UK as we start to ship into the UK and other new markets as well. And so if you're with us with VIDAFY, don't miss the midway call tomorrow. Thanks again, everyone, for connecting tonight. We appreciate you being with us and look forward to seeing you tomorrow on the midway call and then in a couple of weeks on the next wellness team call. Thanks again.